Alright folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Always good to see you. How are we? How have we all been? It's been a few days since we last got down. I'm most definitely ready to get back down to business today. Get stuck right in, as always. Got round 2, day 4, the Miami Open. I imagine we're all up to date. I'm going to touch on that very shortly. Before we do, like the video if you would. Get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not. We continue to grow. I call at around 720 now, folks. Not too bad, eh? We're doing very, very well, if I don't say so myself. If you want to support the channel, links in the description, on the pinned comment, along with the timestamps and everything else. Just want to say big thank you to everyone for the birthday wishes and even the donations. There was quite a few as well. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was, but I will go and check after this and I'll get you in tomorrow's video, guarantee that. But yeah, nice one. Very, very grateful. Meant a lot to me. We earned it, didn't we though? It was a good week, was it not? Indian Wells was very, very successful. For me personally anyway. I imagine it was for yourselves. Jack Draper squad. Well done. Well done. See, we can go again this week, innit? It's time to get right back up amongst it. I'm going to go through most of these. I'm not going to go through every one in massive detail. I just need to try and ease my way back into this. So, like I said with the timestamps, if there's anything you're looking for, just go to that. If it's not there, we'll sweep it up towards the end before we wrap it up. But we will start off with, it's going to be Zverev and Jacob Fearnley. Why not? Seems right. Zverev, Jacob Fearnley. We've seen this game not that long ago. Was that the Australian Open? Yes, it was. So Zverev won that one in straight sets. Now, ever since the Australian Open, I think Zverev has been very, very below par. Don't you? Was quite crap over on the clay. Even coming back, Acapulco, he beat Matteo Arnaldi, just about. Got beat by Elena Tien. He got smacked up by Elena Tien, which I still can't believe. Excuse me. And then the game against Talon Griekspoor in the Indian Wells, first match. Now Talon Griekspoor was playing really good, but even still, you have to admit Zverev is not in the greatest of form at the moment. He still should be getting past Jacob Fearnley though, you'd imagine that. He didn't even take a set off him a couple of months ago. I don't imagine much has changed since. Even though Zverev hasn't looked that good lately, he still has went 12-5 on the year. 5 of those losses coming in the last 10 games. They do date back to the Australian Open too. Jacob Fearnley 12-6, but as much as I like the lad, I've always got to be honest with you folks. He hasn't really beat anyone of note all season. He really hasn't. His best little run of games was probably the Australian Open himself, Nick Kyrgios and Artur Kazo. But how much can you take from that? James Duckworth, fucking challenger. So he's just had a very close game with Benjamin Bonzi. I say a close game. He dropped a set 6-2, but then he won a tiebreaker, won 6-4 in the third. I don't think it matters. It's the one thing that's jumping out for me is Zverev's 1.15 on the decimal. That is a massive favourite, as we all know, and I always say, don't I, especially early doors, big spreads like that, 5.5 for Jacob Fearnley, I'd probably just take it. I'm not picking it with much conviction. It's not an official from me. I don't think Jacob Fearnley's going to beat Zverev. I really don't. He even announced the form, Zverev, but he most definitely can keep it close. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but then I wouldn't be surprised if Zverev just turns up and slaps him up. So I'd probably just stay away from that one. We'll wait and see. We'll move on to this one, innit? Matteo Arnaldi, Thomas Machac. Head to head is 2-0 to Thomas Machac, and if history is anything to go off, I think we could say it's safe to assume this should be a pretty routine win for Thomas Machac. I think he is a lot better, and I repeat, a lot better than Matteo Arnaldi. last time out, who did he play? Well, Watanu, he pulled out in the Indian Wells, that was it. So he had to retire. He did take the first set and then pulled out in the second. Was that the 8th? Yeah, it was nearly 2 weeks ago. Not quite, nearly 2 weeks ago. Providing Thomas Machac is fit and fresh and good to go, I think it's just rinse and repeat. I do. I think Thomas Machac beats Matteo Arnaldi. He's had a couple of decent wins on the season so far, but if we're just going off his last 10, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 4 in your last 10. It's okay. He got beat by Jami Munar in Dallas. Davidovich Fokina, Delray Beach, okay, had a close game with Zverev, but maybe that's a testament to how bad Zverev's playing at the moment. I don't know. I don't want to take nothing away from Arnaldi because he is quite good on his day. And then he got smoked by Binak, didn't he, in the Indian Wells? Now, he did beat Kovacevic first round. Kovacevic, as we all know, is playing not unlike what we've seen him do over in France earlier on in the year. And then the game against Rublev, it was very difficult to tell. It was hard to take anything from that match. Was Arnaldi just that good that Rublev couldn't do anything against him? Or did Rublev just ultimately unravel like we're so used to seeing him do? I think we could opt for the latter in that case, because the very next game he faced Brandon Nakashima and got fucking bullied by him. Yeah, that's right. Now, I know it's not always as easy as this, but I just think if you can't beat Jami Munar sometimes, if you can't beat Davidovich Fokina, if you can't beat Binak, I don't think you're going to beat Thomas Machac, providing he is 100% fit. I don't. I think Arnaldi might be able to hang in there a little bit, but ultimately Thomas Machac has proved to be just a little bit too good for him on each occasion. And not only that, before he pulled out, Thomas Machac was on a 9-game winning streak. Alright, some of them were in that ultimate tennis showdown, so doesn't really mean nothing, but they still stand. Looked fantastic in Acapulco. Who took him on the outright with me? Anyone in the Machac squad? Was that 11-1? Something like that. Really good. Smoked everyone there. I just think he's too good. I do. I'm not too sure what version of him is going to turn up. The fact that he is here usually signals to me that he's ready to go. And if he's ready to go, I think it's Machac all day. 1.5, 1.55, 1.6. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I think you know what to do on that one. We'll circle back towards the end. I might have a little go myself. We've got Taylor Fritz, Lorenzo Sonego. Now, these have played each other quite a few times. Head to head is 5-2 to the American. When did these last play? 2023. Couple of years since we've seen this one. What I will say is this: apart from we take the 2 matches on the clay out of the equation, head to head's 5-0 to Taylor Fritz. You know, maybe that tells us all we need to know. I think, no, I don't know Taylor Fritz, obviously, most definitely not on a personal level, but I would bet that he would agree that he's probably not happy with not how he's been playing, but he's not that, well, yeah, he's probably not that happy with how he's played so far this season. I imagine Taylor Fritz expects a hell of a lot more from himself, but it's still early on. We've still got so much more of the year left. Remember how good he was in the later stages of last season. Taylor Fritz, apart from, you know, the top of the top, Taylor Fritz was one of the best amongst the rest. He really was. No doubt he'll be able to snap back into that form. It's just a case of when. I think this is a prime spot for him to do so. I really do. Lorenzo Sonego, super inconsistent. I feel like we know where we stand with Sonego, don't we? We know when he stands a good chance, and then we know when he's pretty much out of his depth. I can't see him coming close to Taylor Fritz. Not in Miami. I really can't. We've seen Taylor Fritz against Jack Draper last time out in Indian Wells, but we knew we weren't going to win that one. You know, the loss to Davidovich Fokina in straight sets, Delray Beach, El Chapo and Dallas. It's not too bad. Absolute beatdown by Gael Monfils in the Australian Open. I don't know. I can't see Sonego pulling that off. I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on Sonego because I'm not. I actually really like him. Yeah, I think he's a really good player. He's really fun to watch. He, he probably shouldn't be beating Taylor Fritz. I can't see it at all. I just don't think he's nowhere near as good on his day. Even Taylor Fritz playing like he is now should get past Sonego. I don't know. Maybe if Sonego can serve well, he can keep it close. It'll be a massive spread. Getting around 5.5, I imagine it. 4.5, 5.5. I don't know. I'd love to say take it, but once again, I would not be picking that with much conviction. I think out of like, he's probably covered that. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. I think Sonego probably, he most definitely would have covered that spread, even less in the last few. Go and check for yourself. I don't know. It's up to you what you want to do with that one. I think Taylor Fritz is just a couple leagues above Lorenzo Sonego. I really do. It's not impersonal. It's just facts, innit? It's just facts. Taylor Fritz is a massive favourite. The way he's been playing, I was going to say lately, but the way he's been playing all season, I would not be taking Taylor Fritz. Like, you wouldn't take anyone at that price anyway, especially on the money line. I don't feel confident taking Taylor Fritz minus 5.5 games in his current state. So we will move on to we'll go with this one, and then we'll go with Tarante and El Chapo. Should be quick. Getting El Chapo at 1.2. Never played each other before. I am not going to say shocked. I'm just a little bit surprised that Tarante's still here. He is coming off a title over on the Challenger. Probably doesn't mean much over in the Masters set, and he looked fairly decent in qualifying. Didn't drop a set against Dusan Lazovic and Alexander Shevchenko, but yeah, one of them. And then I seen his first round game, and if it was anyone, and I mean anyone, other than Flavio Caboli, I'd have said, you know what, fair play to the lad. He means business, but let's just say it how it is. Flavio Caboli has been fucking crap so far this year. Has he not? Like he's been a lot better than me, but he's went 3-9 on the tour. He's won 3 more games than me. I'm only joking, but yeah, something's gone wrong for Flavio Caboli, and I'm not too sure what it is. And I'm not so sure he knows what it is either. 6-1, fucking hell. 6-1, 3-6, 6-3. That's, oh my god. I don't know. Like I said at the start, folks, I've been trying my best to keep on top of it as much as I can. If there's anything you feel like I may have missed, or anything you feel like I need to know, please do get on me. But surely Tarante isn't going to beat El Chapo, right? I know we've seen El Chapo get beat by Alcaraz last time out. Knew it was going to happen. And then it was the game against Davidovich Fokina over in, was it Mexico? Maybe? Mexico, yeah, Acapulco semi-final. I was quite shocked. He managed to shit that one away, but before that, you have to admit El Chapo was playing some of the best tennis on the tour. Davidovich Fokina can be tricky because he also, will touch on him in a sec, but Davidovich Fokina has been playing really, really good as well. I think he's flew right under the radar, so maybe that loss isn't as bad as what it seemed at the time. Tarante's went 9-1. 9-1 in his last 10, and I don't think he's played anybody, and I mean anyone, that's even close to the level that El Chapo's bringing. Well, that has been bringing anyway currently, so there's only one way I could take that. 1.2, I know it's very, very steep. I don't see it losing. If you just need a little sweetener, on your parlay just to get you where you want to be, I'd give you the green light on El Chapo there. Probably even take him in straight sets, minus the points. I can see this being an absolute washout, I really do. Anyway, any objections on that? I don't know, I know Tarante is. I know he is. I'm familiar with his game, but he's just not. I don't know. I don't think he's quite ATP Masters level just yet. He's outside the top 100. 11-5 on the season. He has went 5-1 on the hard court. Like I just said, most of them coming against, Radianov, Titouan Droge, and then Lazovic and Shevchenko. It's, I don't know. It's I don't even know why I'm spending so much time on it. It's so clearly Denis Shapovalov. If El Chapo gets beat by him, I don't know what to say about that. So I'm not going to think about it anymore. I think it should be as easy as 1-2 and done. For Denis in that one, am I going to take him if I'm doing a parlay? I might be forced to. If not, I don't know. We'll see what happens anyway. We'll move on to Jakob Mensik and Jack Draper. Jack Draper squad. What a guy. What a guy. Getting him as a massive favourite in this one. Now, usually when we see people go really deep, or not even really deep, go ahead and win tournaments, and then come into the next one, more often than not, they ain't looking too fresh, are they? And you can't blame them, you've got to be super, super fit to win it, win the Indian Wells, and then come into this, and then potentially challenge for a title in this. I'm sure, is he the second favourite to win this now? I think I seen the other day you're getting Jack Draper around 10-1, 11-1 now, though. I don't know about you, that is a hell of a difference from what we had on the Indian Wells, is it not? If he's fit, that was just about a week ago, not quite, but he's had a decent bit of rest. He should be able to beat Jakob Mensik, There should be no question about it anymore, really. Surely there's no more doubt about Jack Draper, especially in a spot like this. Jakob Mensik, I mean, we see the potential with Mensik. We've seen it quite a bit over the past season. Well, not this one, maybe more last season. I think Jack Draper just munches on him. I really do. I don't think he stands a chance. These have played each other on the Challenger Tour back in 2023. Jack Draper beats him then 6-4, 6-2. No denying Mensik has most definitely improved since then. But if Mensik's improved, then what's happened to Jack Draper? Jack Draper's completely fucking mutated into an absolute beast over the past year or two. I feel like there's only one outcome in this, and you know exactly what that is. 1.3. Now I agree that may be a bit of a price to pay regarding the concerns around the fitness of Jack Draper, but surely you could say, look, we've seen him in the Australian Open, absolutely beat to shit, and he could barely play there, and he managed to get a fairly decent run together in that until it all come crumbling down. I feel like this should be easy work against Jakob Mensik. I really do. You can't even say I'm being biased anymore, can you? He really is that good. Probably go with Jack Draper again. I'd probably just go with Jack Draper again. Just keep riding it until the wheels fall off, and as they do with everyone, eventually it all comes to an end and you will lose. You will. It happens to the best of them. You cannot win forever. I think he's got at least one more in the bag. Nearly a week off. You win the Indian Wells, have yourself a nice little week off, chill out, get yourself ready for Miami. Yeah, I'd be willing to roll the dice on our boy once again. I'll be taking Jack Draper in that. Holger Rune, is that Holger Rune? Rally Opelka. You probably say Holger Rune, right? But then again, the same probably applies to Holger Rune as what does with Jack Draper. You're getting Holger Rune around 1.4. These have never played each other before. Is Holger Rune fit? Is he fresh? Is he good to go? If the answer is yes, yes and yes, I imagine he's got more than enough to beat Rally Opelka. It's not impersonal, but I see there's only one path to victory for Rally Opelka, It seems to be the way. He is not going to outmaneuver Holger Rune. He is just going to have to beat him with pure strength and pace And if that first serve's not working, you have to admit, I feel like Opelka will most definitely struggle. And the longer this match gets on, you don't need me to tell you, the worse he will most definitely get. Holger Rune got smoked by Jack Draper in the final. I knew he was going to beat him, but considering how good Holger Rune looked leading up until the final as well, Jack Draper made him look crap. I still think he's a lot better than Riley Opelka on the day. I really do. The Riley Opelka we've seen at the start of the season has been nowhere to be seen ever since. Completely vanished. I'm not so sure what to do with Riley Opelka anymore. Well, I am. I just don't bet on him. That's the thing. I definitely don't bet on him. I was never one for betting on him anyway. But he sort of made me believe that maybe it could at the start of the season, but evidently we can't. 1.4 as well. Like I said, I feel like even a slightly fatigued Holger Rune may just have more than enough to get past this version of Riley Opelka. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to go anywhere near it. But we will move on to... apart from the Jack Draper one, this is the one I'm probably looking forward to the most. Joao Fonseca, Hugo Humbert. Now this is split right down the middle. The slightest of favourites is Hugo Humbert. These have played each other once before. That was this year, am I wrong? Very early this year when it loads. Davis Cup, straight sets, 7-5, 6-3 for Hugo Humbert. Now, first things first, are my eyes playing tricks on me, or is Hugo Humbert actually 1.75 there? That is real. Like, I'm not seeing things. 1.75 for Hugo Humbert. I don't know how I feel about that, you know. I think that's a... Now, some of you may disagree. Now, I know we all like Joao Fonseca over here. We are Fonseca fans. We see the potential. It's hard not to. I don't think he's nowhere near as good as Hugo Humbert. It's the Masters as well, you know. I don't know. I don't even feel bad for saying it, because it's just facts. You know? Like, look what Jack Draper has just done to Joao Fonseca. Jack Draper's literally just sent him back down to the Challenger Tour. Where, like, I say the Challenger Tour, I mean, they're definitely not Challenger players that he's just beat. Pavel Kotov, Jan-Lennard Struff, Hugo Gaston, Nishikori, Alexander Bublik. I wouldn't say that's not even like a Challenger Tour, is it? That's like a little... That's more like an ATP one. You wouldn't have said that. They're not Challenger players, so... Yeah. Maybe I can't really say that. He has looked... say fairly decent. He always does. He always does look good, but Struff... He had a close game with him. Struff's been well off it. Hugo Gaston, you can never trust him. Kai Nishikori, it's whatever. Alexander Bublik, bang out of form. Haven't been able to trust him for quite some time. And then first round in Miami, he's just barely, and I mean barely, got past Lerner Tien. Could have got beat. I'm sure, did he drop that first set to Lerner Tien? He sure did. Oh, he was shit in that tiebreaker too. I don't know about you folks. Like, what are we even doing here? Like, why is this so close? Why are the odds so close in this? What were the odds against Jack Draper? Can anyone remember? Have they got it on this? Yeah, now Jack Draper was 1.6 on the decimal before, like, running into Joao Fonseca. And look what he done to him. Had the edge on the experience, just the edge on everything. 10 times better all over the court. 6-4, then done him with a bagel in the second. Fonseca had nothing for Jack Draper. And I think Hugo Humbert plays a very, very similar game to Jack Draper. You know, both lefties. They do. Very similar in the way they play. Jack Draper's probably got a little bit of a better serve, probably just a bit better in every aspect of the game, but Hugo Humbert, I'd say he's not far behind. that seems a little bit disrespectful to me. To have this close, I don't know. I do think there's levels. I always say it, there's just levels to this game. Not one of them that he's just beat in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are nowhere near as good as Hugo Humbert. Fact, you know I'm right. You know I'm right. I may just have to take Hugo Humbert to beat him 1.6. How could I not? How could I not? Am I missing something? Like, am I missing something here, folks? I will say this before we crack on. I said it. I pretty much say it in every time you mention Hugo Humbert, but more often than not, he wins, and he looks very, very good doing so. Even the games that he loses, it's very rare he gets done in straight sets. Very, very rare. He's always usually good for a set, and if you need just a little parlay piece, Hugo Humbert to take one set off Joao Fonseca, that being 1.3, that is disgusting. That's a free parlay piece that is so disrespectful. I think he beats him, I really do. I think this should be, I say should be, it may not be, it very well could be 1-2 and done for Hugo Humbert like it was a couple months ago. I just think there's levels. If Joao Fonseca turns up and beats the version of Hugo Humbert that I'm expecting to turn up, I will hold up my hands and say fair play to the kid, but I just don't see it. He really, really struggled against Jack Draper. I would imagine Hugo Humbert is going to deal you more of the same. I might have to take it. We'll see. If it's pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. We'll crack on. Zizou Bergs and Andrei Rublev. Fucking hell. Now what are we to do with this? Andrei Rublev, man. Rublev. What am I to do with you, son? Played each other last year over in Rotterdam. Straight sets for Rublev, 7-5, 6-3. Same old shit, innit? Same old shit once again. We just can't trust him. We can't trust him just when you think you can. He quickly proves to you that you can't. What was that against Matteo Arnaldi? Hey, I'd forgotten about that until I've just looked at it again. But what was that? That was bad, wasn't it? That was really bad. He looked really wrong. Like, was he? Like, I could have swore he was like crying at the end of that. I don't know. He probably weren't, but I don't know. Zizou Bergs for a set. Anyone? I'm not taking Rublev to beat him. I'm just not. I'm just not falling for it anymore. I'm not. I don't know what it's gonna. I really don't know what it's gonna take from Andrei Rublev until I'm set on doing it with him again. I just, like, what the fuck are we doing with him? What is to be done with this lad? He's bad for business, isn't he? Now, I love him as a player. I know we all do. He's a brilliant player, but he's probably one of my favourite players to watch, if I'm being honest with you. But he is bad for business. You have to admit that, folks. You just don't know what's going to happen with him. You don't know. I'm 100% certain who is better out of the two. There's no doubt in my mind that Andrei Rublev is miles above Zizou Bergs on the day. I already know that. You don't need me to tell you that. What are the odds that that version of Rublev is going to turn up? It's very slim. We've got a very slim chance that we're going to get. Even the Rublev we got in Doha, it weren't that long ago. And he did look like the one that we're very used to seeing. Fuck, he beat Jack Draper. You know, he looked so good against Jack Draper. And then he gets beat by Quinton Hallis. We'll give him that one due to fatigue. But then the game against Arnaldi, I repeat, what was that? Zizou Bergs. I think we know what to expect from him, don't we? 16-7 on the season. Fairly decent. Rublev at 9-6. Zizou Bergs hasn't really beat anyone. Say he hasn't beat anyone. He's done Nuno Boys twice in his last 10. He beat him in France, and then he's just done him in straight sets in the first round. He did get beat by Alexei Popyrin. Now some of you might sit there and go, oh yeah, Popperin has been shit, so that probably is bad, but I did say I'm kind of waiting for Popperin to snap into a little bit of form, and if we're getting prime Popperin and prime Bergs, I'm taking prime Popperin all day. I mentioned that before that match, didn't I? Ethan Quinn, Aziz Dugat, Batista Agu, Zhang and Nuno boys. I don't know. I don't know what to do in this. He's been beat by Hugo Humbert, Daniel Medvedev, that was a beatdown. Luca Nardi, and then the Popperin game. Like I said, folks, Rublev should most definitely be getting this one done against Zizou Bergs, but he is just not to be trusted. 3.5, that is quite a decent underdog. Maybe just sprinkle on that. I would not be surprised to see Zizou Bergs spring an upset on Andrei Rublev today. Plus money to take him for a set. Why not? Why not? At this rate, you may as well, eh? We got many more. I think that, you know what? I think that's going to do us, you know. I think that's going to do us. So, Adam Walton, Darderi. Getting Adam Walton at 1.4 now. It's Adam Walton or nothing. I'm not going anywhere near Luciano Darderi, especially on the hard court. He's only won about 3 games in his Thai career. Well, that's not entirely true. 25 and 23 on the season. 20 of those 25 wins coming in 2021. 0 and 1 the year after that. 3 and 3, 1 and 9, 1 and 4 this season. 2 and 7 overall. And considering this guy loves the clay, he can't even win a game on that. So I'd be willing to bet Adam Walton gets that one done. I imagine you would too. 1.4, that's probably a decent shout. I don't know, maybe I should have looked a bit more into that one, but let's not worry about it. We've got Wong, Ben Shelton. It's going to be Ben Shelton, obviously. 1.1 on the decimal, massive favourite. I don't know, take Wong on the spread. Do whatever you like with that. I'm not going to go anywhere near it. That is a huge, huge price for Ben Shelton. I'm willing to put that match against David Goffin behind me and say I know what to expect going forward from Ben Shelton. He looked a lot better in the Indian Wells. We've got to give him that until he ran into Jack Draper, but as we all know, getting beat by him, there's no shame in that. Who else we missed? Thompson and Pechi Pedicard. Oh, come on. I've got nothing for that. Odds are split right down the middle. Jordan Thompson has beat him both times they've played. This is only his second game back after his layoff though, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. Need to see more. Need to see how he's going to hold up. And we all know Gio can be very, very tough to play against on his day. Very tough to break. And if this is going to drag on for a tiebreaker or two, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gio get that one done. So, my eyes are going blurry here. Sorry, it's a bit late. Matteo Berrettini will definitely be Hugo Gaston, in my opinion. Hugo Gaston has never beaten Berrettini before. Played each other twice last year. Fairly decent games. One on the clay, one on the hard court. I feel like there's only one answer in that one. Alex de Minaur is a massive favourite against Boo. But I'm not going there. I'm not going anywhere near Alex de Minaur. I said it, didn't I? That game against Cerundolo was dodgy. I could not believe what I was watching in that match. He didn't even look like he was coming close to winning a point. Never mind a game or a set. Boo looked fairly decent against Cam Norrie, in my opinion. Decent enough for me to not mind you taking him plus that 5.5, even buy a point plus 6.5. Massive, massive spread for Boo. Now, I'm not fading Alex de Minaur by any stretch of the imagination, but if he's going to play anything like what he did against Cerundolo, I would not put it past Boo covering that spread. Fuck, even beating him. There, I said it. Yeah, even beating him. But realistically, Demon should be too much in that, we all know it. We've got Artifice and Diallo. We've seen that one last week. Indian Wells 6-2, 6-2 from Feast. Different conditions this time out. Will it be more of the same? I'm not too sure. You get an Artifice around 1.5 if you want to take him, go for it. like I say, 6-2, 6-2. I think the Indian Wells is a little bit slower than over here in Miami. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, how much is going to change since then? 6-2, 6-2. If Gabe Diallo comes out and just gets one back here, then so be it. I'm not going to touch it. And then we'll finish off with Davidovich Fokina and Francis Tiafoe. Who gives a shit? It's probably, I was going to say probably Big Foe. Absolutely not. It's probably Davidovich Fokina, is it not? Can't trust. You just can't trust Big Foe in this spot. I can't anyway. 5-5 on the year. He's been. I was just gonna say it, but I had to double check. Yeah, he's been shit. He's been shit. Adam Walton, Artur Rindenich, Taro Daniel, Alexander Muller, Damir Dzuma. Those are the current capabilities of Francis Tiafoe. Davidovich Fokina, like I said in the El Chapo one, has been playing very, very good. Very good. Flew right under my radar, I'll give him that. He's been playing a lot better than what I've given credit for too, put in some solid performances. He seems to do it all. Even when he looks like he's playing shit and he's getting beat, he just snaps and turns it on, comes back out of nowhere. And then even when you think he doesn't stand a chance, you'll just get a little straight set win over the likes of Fritz and El Chapo. I don't know. If you can beat Taylor Fritz in straight sets, and if you can certainly beat El Chapo in straight sets, the form he was in, I would imagine you've got more than enough to beat Francis Tiafoe. You can barely win a game. Barely win a game. Beat by Watanuki. Beat by Davidovich Fokina, literally in Acapulco. It was a close game, 2-1. I imagine it might be more or less the same. Beat by Nishioka. Beat by Fabian Marizin. Beat by Gio and Pechi Pericard. I think Guile's going to do him again. Once again for Davidovich Fokina, and it should be rinse and repeat. But I think that's it, is it not? Right then, very well. Fucking hell, that took some time, did it not? First one back, a little bit rusty. I appreciate you for being patient. Right then, folks, I'll be saying good night to you. Yeah, you take it easy, take care of yourselves, take care of one another. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Don't know what I'm going for. I'll sort that while I'm uploading the video. Get your best bets in, get yourself involved, all that shit. Right then, let's enjoy the matches, innit? Enjoy the games. Let's go get that cash today. Best of luck to you. See you tomorrow.